Hi guys, welcome to the part 3 of Only Elevators. And in part 2, if you remember, we have used level blueprints to create our basic logic, and you learned about what are the level blueprints and what are the class blueprints and why we need class blueprints apart from the level blueprints. And we haven't seen it yet, but we have started with level blueprints. And in this part 3, we are also going to use level blueprint and develop our logic a little bit, and so that we can control this elevator situation uh, more in a defined way as we want. So if we play, you can see that. All right. So if you play, you can see that if you go inside the elevator, we goes up, and you can see that there is this preview, right? There is this preview. So how did I get this preview? So it is very simple. You just have to select the trigger box and go to the line thickness in the details panel, and I gave it uh, 2, value of 2, and search for hidden in game, and you will see that in default this actor hidden in game is checked, but I unchecked it so that I can clearly see what happens to the trigger box when the logic works. Now if you see that, if you go into the trigger box, it triggers and the elevator mesh goes up, but the trigger box stays the uh, stays in the same location, right? So it doesn't move. So what if I want to move that, right? What if I want to move that with our elevator mesh? So that is really simple. You just have to select the trigger box and find the SM elevator temp. You just have to click and drag the trigger box and drop onto the SM elevator temp layer, right? And you can see that now trigger box is a child of SM elevator temp. That means trigger box is now sharing the location of its parent, right? Trigger box can have a offset, but it shares the same location and same transformations that elevator is going to have. You can see that, you can test that from clicking on select the elevator, and yeah, you can move the elevator, and you can see that now the trigger box is attached to the elevator, right? Now if you play, you can see that it remains with the mesh, right? So yeah, it's very simple. And if you go to the level blueprint, so I have a little bit organized our code, and yeah, if we recap, if we give a recap, when uh, when the when character is going into the trigger box and starts to overlap, it triggers our elevator timeline. And elevator timeline, if you go into the elevator timeline, it just increases the value from 0 to 1 in 1 second of time span, and it just called as alpha. So in alpha, with 1 seconds, it just generates values from 0 to 1, and we are mapping these values from 0.026 to 300 using this lerp node. And when 1 second goes, when the 1 second is calculating, this alpha node uh, outputs 0 to 1, this one outputs 0.026 to 300. That is how this works. And we have connected this to z location of the our elevator mesh, and that means our elevator goes up in the location from 0.026 to 300. So it is that simple, and it's not programming, it's not coding, it's just logic, right? And the thing is, um, yeah, the thing is, you can see that on actor begin overlap doesn't know who who overlaps with the trigger, right? It doesn't know who overlaps with the trigger. So we have a way of restricting that, right? We have a way of restricting that. To do that, I'm going to get a little bit space between these two nodes, and you can see that this gives what is the actor object that is overlapping with the trigger box, right? What is the actor that is going to overlap? So if you get print string node, so I use print string node all the time. You can also use this print string node to learn things, how these nodes work, and kind of thing. So I'm going to plug this here, and if I connect this, I can see what's gonna happen when this executed, right? So if you go inside, you can see that it says, okay, third person character is the one who is overlapping with our trigger box, right? So what if uh, another actor? What if another actor or another player, or in other cases in physics objects, are going to collide and this triggers automatically, right? That should be a chaos, right? We are hoping our player to come and collide, and when our player begins overlap with the trigger box, and it will work perfectly, but unexpectedly other actor comes and overlap, and then this triggers automatically. Now that will be a uh, that will be a little bit of unexpected thing to expect, right? So therefore we need to tell that um, this just should work only for third person character or our character, right? To do that, there are two methods. First one is casting, and casting is a little bit of expensive, and you can see that if we do the casting, we can drag a wire from other actor and cast to third person character. Now it checks if the uh, now it checks the other actor is overlapping is the third person character, and if only it plays it. And the thing is, this is very expensive node. uh, you can see that yeah, I'll show you that later. But so you have to know that this is expensive, but we have to use it sometimes, um, without thinking about the expensiveness, but we have to limit where and how we use it, right? So that is the case, and therefore we are not going to use this cast one. We are just going to uh, see if this actor is equal to our get player character. So Unreal Engine gives a node that delivers or that outputs our player character. So we just plug it in. Now this node outputs true if the other actor or the overlapping actor is equal to the our player character. Now we are going to connect that into this branch node. Now branch node is rerouting our execution node into true and false, and if we get true, it plays this. If we get false, it doesn't do anything, right? So it is the basic thing. So it restricts uh, any misfires from this execution node, and yeah, that's kind of yeah, basic thing to do. Every time we are using any trigger boxes and something, and if we need only our player character to uh, launch it, we just have to do that. Or we can use cast as well uh, when we have a specific requirement. Um, yeah, I'll explain those things later, but yeah, this will work. All right. Then after this, now what do we have to do? Okay. Now, what if now the thing is working, but the thing is if we go into the elevator, it goes automatically. What if I have this ability to control our elevator or execute the elevator with a key, right? We can simply do this by um, yeah, how do we do this? I have to unplug this from play, and I will get it here, and I'll just type F key, and you can see that there are events uh, called as keyboard events. So these are keyboard events, these are normal events, and if you press, this is going to work, right? If you play, if you go into the elevator and press F, this just works. But the thing is, if you play again, and when you are in the outside of the elevator, if you press F, it just still works, right? Now that's a little bit of problem. Therefore, we have to put that condition. If I press F, just check if our player character is inside our trigger box. We have to put this logic. So how do we do that? To do that, um, I'm just going to create a variable is in elevator, and I'm putting a question mark. So this is going to be a boolean variable. So it just asks, is our character on our in our elevator, right? Now we can just drag the variable and set it to true when our character is inside our elevator, when it is overlapped, right? And when pressing F, I should check if this is true, right? If this is true, you can press F and it works, right? Cool. It's a simple thing. When our character begins to overlap with the trigger box, it just says, okay, now I am in the elevator. And if I press F, it constantly checks is our character is on the elevator. And it's if it's true, you can execute the rest. All right. If we play, now if you press F, nothing happens. All right. inside the elevator, press F, it works. It's a really simple thing. It's a really simple condition. And the thing is, I can show you that. Go inside, press F, it works. But if you go inside and come out again and now press F, it still works because we didn't uh, use our elevator condition, or we didn't update our elevator condition after our character is going outside the trigger box. Now we just have to select our trigger box and go inside the level blueprint and right click, search add event for trigger box and go to collision, and there is this node called add on actor end overlap. Now this triggers an execution when our character is ending the overlap with it, right? Now this code is pretty uh, similar to this one. Yeah, it is almost the same. The only change is we are going to uncheck this. Now when character goes inside the trigger box, it uh, checks, and when character goes outside the trigger box, it unchecks, and this is not going to work, right? Now let's see. Okay, press F, it doesn't work. Go inside, press F, it works. Cool. And what can I do more? Yeah, let's see. All right, what functionality can we add? Now let's see. Now let's say this value is manually, we are giving this value manually, right? What if we just have this empty actor, or we have this empty uh, small thing that um, directs our elevator to that location, that elevation, right? So the simplest thing I can think of is the actor. You can go to this plus icon and search for actor, and there is this object called actor, and you can see this is an actor that can be placed or spawned in the world. So it basically have only transform values. It basically have only transform values. Rest of the things are general ones. So it basically have a transform value. Now I'm going to elevate this a little bit higher. So yeah, yeah. Now I'm going to elevate this a little bit higher to 493, or let's say this is on 500 centimeters above from the ground. Now, how do we get this location and feed into the logic and say, hey elevator, you just have to go to the elevation of our actor 2. You can see that its name is actor 2. Let's rename it, right? Let's rename it as flow 1. Okay, you are the flow 1. Just go to the elevation of flow 1, right? And how do we do this? So it is pretty basic. You just select it from outliner and create a reference, and we are dragging a wire out of our reference, and call get actor location. All right, now it gives our its location, and I'm going to split this. so I can get XYZ values, and I just passes this Z value to 300 slot. Now it takes the location of the flow actors Z value and passes it. Now if you play, go to inside, pass it, and now you can see that it goes to 500 uh, centimeters upward. Now, how do we know this is correct, right? Let's have a little bit of flow. I'm going to select this flow cube and duplicate it. And you can see that they say this has the scale of 30. What if it only has 10? Oh, 10 is little bigger. 5. Yeah, 5 will be work. 5, 5, and point 1. Now this will be a good flow, and I'm going to attach this cube into our uh, flow. No, this can't be done because cannot attach active with static mobility. All right. We just have to change this mobility to movable and attach to flow 1 and just clear this location, reset this, and now it perfectly has this elevation of flow 1, right? Now we just have to select the cube and edit its location a little bit so that elevator can go up and provide the flow. All right, and I think, let's say, let's see from the sideways. All right, now you can see the elevator there. Okay, yeah, this is that. Now you can move it in here. Okay, maximize and play. Now you can see that if you go into the elevator and press F, it has this flow. Good. Now, what if we change our flow and give this a higher elevation? It just goes to 800. Yeah. No matter how much you move that flow actor, the elevator goes there. So that is the reference point. That is the location code gets, and it just works. All right. So that's really good. But what if we just have to go down again? Now it just goes up, but I can't go down again. So it will be easy as well. I just have to go to the level blueprint, and instead of F, I'm going to use two key events, and first one will be Q. You just have to click on this keyboard icon and press Q on your keyboard. Now it converts to Q, and click on this F duplicated one, click E. So I'm going to use Q for upward, E for downward, and connect here to go upward. And I'm just going to copy and paste this code and connect here, and I just have to copy this A value and connect this Z value to A and disconnect this B value from holding Alt and clicking on the B node or the B pin and giving this location for the B. We just interchange the numbers, and yeah, if we play, go inside, Q, it goes up, press E, it goes down, right? Now you can see that if I press again Q or E, it doesn't work. It basically doesn't work. That is because what play means, play from the current time, right? Play from the current time. What is that? Play from the current time. It means it just when I press Q, it goes there, and when I press Q again, it doesn't go any further, right? That is what do. So I have to connect this to play from start. I have to connect this to play from start for the both codes. So it basically go to the zero time and place it again from the beginning. Right now, if we test this, press Q, E, Q, E, it just works, right? But if you spam or uh, if you press Q when you are still going down, it just gets confused, right? So we have to disable our inputs if we pressed it once. So if we go to our level blueprint and check for disable input, and yeah, let's see it works. um, I'm not sure. Target is actor, so I'm going to add print string node. Give a minute, I'll be testing this, and I should get player control. So I get player control. All right. This node basically asks permission from the player controller to disable the input. And if I press Q and it disables and it shows hello, and then if I press Q again, it will not work. So how that is? That should work. Q, hello. Yeah, Q is not working anymore. All right. So that should work. So we just have to disable the input uh, before um yeah, actually this should come after the check. It should disable the input if this is only true, and it goes same for the E key as well. It should disable. Now the thing is, we should enable it after our animation ends, right? We should enable our controls after the animation ends. That means you can see that in timeline node, we have this finished execution node. So it basically lets us know the animation is finished. So we have to get our player controller and say, please enable input of this actor. And you can see that if we drag wire from player controller and get the enabled input. It just connects the wire to target. So we have to basically change the wire into player controller and connect this finished node, copy and paste, and connect here. And now you can see that if we press Q, it just checks if our character is in the elevator, and if character is in the elevator, it should disable our input and place the elevator animation, and it disables input until the animation is finished, and after animation is finished it enables our input so that we can press any other key, right? All right, now what we are going to do is Q, and yeah, it's a bit of problem. Okay, now it seems it doesn't work. Why is that? Oh no, no, it works, but there's some lag. Okay, it has some lag. Let's see why is that. But the logic works. We can test it that. Okay, we can test this from dropping a print string node here, and let's just check if E works when animation is uh, proceeding. Okay, go inside, press Q and press F. Sorry, press E. It doesn't work. Okay, the code works, but it just have some lag, maybe due to the screen recording. But yeah, I'll check. But the logic works. It's I don't think this is really a hard logic. So we are still in the beginning, and this is just uh, yeah, this is just a small thing. All right, now we proudly have our simple elevator system that works with key inputs and also with a desired location. So it's really cool. What if we have multiple flows? What if we have multiple flows? Now, in the only elevators part 4, we are going to have multiple flows, and we are going to build some logic so that we can go up and down to multiple level or multiple flow building. So it will be a little bit of advanced, but it is not that advanced. Uh, there will be a little bit of code that is going to add on to this existing one. Yeah. So let's get started in our part 4. Thank you, guys. Thank you. If you think I am supporting you, and if you think I am explaining enough for you guys to understand this, and if you think, and you can support me from you can support me through buy me a coffee, and it will be really appreciated. um, yeah, and also you can drop comments to ask if you have I don't understand this and I need to know how this works, and if you can give a hint, I can study a little bit and give you a reply. um, yeah, that's it. Thank you then. Bye, guys.